without the skin here, beneath the storm, under these tears now, the walls came down, and as a snake is drowned, and as I look in his eyes, my fear begins to fade. I'm coming over with tide. I have died. I will die. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. And as the walls come down, and as I look in your eyes, my fear begins to fade. I'm coming over with ties. I have died. I will die. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. Congratulations. You have chosen the apocalypse. And now, since in your folly you have chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Here on this plane of existence, I am known as Nicholas Six, your humble guide. But where I'm from, I'm known as Death. When was your Maga Revelation? When you finally realized that you've cut your own throat, that you've sold your country, your God, your future to the beast. Funny, they use the word revelation. For that is why I am here. To reveal the truth to you. For even the reverends I respect are afraid to speak the truth, for what they might lose, for what might come against them. But I am not afraid. Let us begin. Yes. When was your Maga Revelation? See, the term Maga Revelation more means to me, or what it should mean, is when a rube wakes up and realizes, oh shit, this ain't team sports. My kids might starve because of this. I might lose my house because of this. Oh shit, I might go to prison because of this. I might die because of this. I've lost my country because of this, because I was stupid and I viewed politics the same way I view the fucking football game I watch on Sunday. I just want my team to win, and I don't care who they hurt in the motherfucking process. Guess what? They gonna hurt you. Not so fun when it's not just other people getting attacked, targeted. What you rubes are witnessing, in case you don't know what it looks like, obviously, you enabled it, voted for it, made it happen. What you're witnessing is a dictatorship being built right before your face. Isn't it fun to watch? We that studied history, that don't view politics as team sports, we tried to warn you for 8 years. You heard no wisdom in the warnings. Pity for you. Let's start with this. This is from Trump War Room. They're on Twitter, I believe. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nations to enrich our citizens. Quickly, none of that money's going to go to the citizens. It's going to go to Donnie and the boys. And everybody knows it. That's simple. No more need be said on that. That's when Donnie says enrich our citizens, he means me. Always replace me with whatever subject he's talking about. Because those tariffs are for him and his buddies. Mostly for him. Not for you. You ain't going to get a fucking dime of it. Put that in the motherfucking bank that's about to collapse. Because they need it too. To get you on Donnie Coin. And the whole world on Donnie Coin. Trump says he's signing an executive order to have the Defense Department start constructing an Iron Dome defense system for the U.S. Why do we need an Iron Dome? We don't have no shit like that already? Here's what I think it is. Just another contract that's going to cost, I don't know, $1 trillion that Donnie and the boys are going to split up. And here's how it works. You give the money to a contractor, he backdoors 3/4 of it back to you or half of it back to you somehow, some shady way. This is done every day, all day by people. That's what the contract's most likely for. I guarantee we got a beautiful missile defense system that no one's ever seen. Trust me, son. So I don't know if we need it, and it's probably just another contract where trillions are going to go to him and his buddies. We don't really need an Iron Dome. That AI infrastructure project, $500 billion, guarantees some of that money is going to backdoor back to Donnie. Don't worry. That's the point of it. Here's Donnie again, the guy who tried to overthrow the government, the convicted felon, the adjudicated defamer, adjudicated fraud, making another joke about staying past his allotted legal term of office already. You know, it's so funny how he makes these jokes in the beginning of his term. He's already thinking of cheating or doing something nefarious. At the end of his term, he's so worried about losing power at the beginning of his term. This is the second or third time I've heard a joke like this. Yeah, it's real funny from the guy that tried to overthrow the government and stole 3,000 classified documents. It's hilarious, right, guys? And he's not serious at all, right? He's just joking. I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself. Oh, don't worry. We know Donnie will find a way. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again? Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, right, Rubes? You're going to see how hilarious it is because it's coming to every single one of your doorsteps. And that's your fault. And I take no pleasure in saying that. But this is what you have wrought. I'm just here to guide you through it. So Donnie cracking jokes about, third term, fourth term, dictator for life. We all know what it is. I know what it is. We got a Caesar now. It's over. It's done with. There's no one to fight it. Everybody trying to take a stand now. Rachel Maddow, all kind of people. They want to talk tough now. Should have been talking way tougher, way back. Too late now, son. Too late to quote laws and constitutional amendments and blah, blah, fucking blah. All he needed was that military. He's got it. Hegseth. Over. That's what I was waiting for. When's he going to get control of the military? Hegseth will do anything he says. If tomorrow he says, go in the chambers of Congress and the Senate, arrest every Democrat. Oh, and get Kinzinger and Cheney while you're at it if they're there. I think Cheney's out already. You think that can't happen? That's where this is going. Some shit like that we're going to wake up to. Believe it. Just like Hitler, baby. First people he locked up, liberals, communists, and socialists. That's just the truth. Sorry, son. Oh, this is about Mike Johnson putting stipulations on when and why California can get aid, and how fucking dare he. If your state was in flames and you lost your home, would you want the Speaker of the House fucking around with your aid money? No, you fucking would not. If you lived in Alabama, wherever the fuck. But this Cali, so it's cool, right? We can fuck with Cali. Guess what? There's a lot of Republicans that live in Cali too. And they love it there. And they got their houses burned down too. As you play this game of cheer on the dictator who wants to play games because he's jealous of Gavin fucking Newsom. And we're going to get to more of that. Oh my God, what a whopper your cult leader fucking told. And you'll defend it to your dying breath, I'm sure. But we'll get to that. Yes, he's jealous as fuck of Gavin Newsom, and Gavin put him right in his place on the tarmac. I don't know if you noticed the body language and Donnie's fucked up Frankenstein shoes because he wanted to be as tall as Gavin. Anyway, so this is a great point. California is the largest contributor of tax revenue to the federal treasury by far. Largest economy, that's why. That's like another country to itself. Oh, they pay most of your welfare in the Rube welfare states. Arkansas, Ohio, Utah, Georgia, Kentucky. You can thank California and New York for your existence. Otherwise, you wouldn't exist. You'd be starving to death. You wouldn't have no roads. You wouldn't have jack shit. Because your states make no fucking money. That's simple. It's not it's not a liberal conservative thing. Your states make no fucking money. So the money got to come from somewhere. Guess where it comes from? New York and California. You know, the places you fucking hate that Donnie really wants to loot right now? Thank them for your fucking existence, son. Because without them, you'd be starving. You'd be third world country. In 2022 alone, California paid $83 billion more to the federal government than it received. Louisiana took $34.5 billion. The reason they are pointing out Louisiana is that's where punk ass Mike Johnson is from. The guy who doesn't have a bank account, the guy who adopted some black child, like Matt Gaetz did for some reason. And I'm just, I'm guessing it's not for legit just adoption. I care about other people reasons. I have a feeling Mike has some serious bloody skeletons in his closet. Any guy that doesn't even have a fucking bank account in his name and he's Speaker of the House of the United States, there is some shady motherfucking shit going on in the closet, what you don't see. There's a reason he don't want his money tracked. A big, important motherfucking reason. That motherfucker got skeletons. Who is subsidizing whom here? Exactly. California. Louisiana, thank California for your existence. Thank New York for your existence. Because your state makes no money in comparison. Just the fucking truth, man. Oh, this is Leon. Someone's bragging about Leon's video game prowess on some fucking video game. Who fucking cares? And the community's notes literally say, while the account has reached rank 3, this is not Elon Musk's accomplishment. He has admitted to paying someone else to play the account for him, play the video game for him. He even lies about video games and pays people to play it for him. He got community noted on his own fucking website, Mr. C. Kyle, that he's lying. And Elon responded, fatalism, FTW, whatever the fuck that means. I'm not a video game person. I grew up. So this person's making the point. He's not a genius. He's not a #1 video game player. He did not design any rockets. His cars are garbage. Crypto is fraud. The Mars colony is a hoax from a sci-fi book. The Nazi technocracy bit came from his grandfather. Fake as fuck. Yes, fake as fuck. Again, these people grew up in such a isolated rich boys bubble, daddy's boy bubble, that they got to play with, Nazi ideology and dress up in the outfits and practice their Sieg Heil in the mirror as if it's all funny. Guess what wasn't funny about the Nazis, son? When the Russians and Americans were closing in on them motherfuckers like that. That's what wasn't fun about being a Nazi. And that's where it's going to end up again, son. It's where it always ends up. But you'll have a little fun along the way. And you will pay for it dearly in the end. Don't worry. More dearly than you are prepared to. So again, another abject piece of evidence that Elon is just a fake-ass sociopath, liar on the level of Donnie shitbags. Just lies about the smallest things. It reminds me of Donnie lying about his golf game. Does he need to lie about his golf game? No, he doesn't, but he does. Because in his mind, he can't stand being seen as a loser, can't stand losing, to the point he has to have people move his ball for him on the court. Or if it's a putt, he'll just pick it up and pretend like he made it. The stories regarding golf with Donnie. Again, there's no reason to lie about such trivial small things, but they do. Like sharpieing weather maps when you give out wrong information about a hurricane. He needs to be right to that degree where he will take a Sharpie to a weather map and alter the path of a hurricane and show that to you as if that is evidence that his argument is sound. The day all of you saw that, you should have never taken him seriously again. I'm astounded you did. But stubbornness, rubery, and entities that walk around thinking they are wise is what this world is, unfortunately. Here we go, the first of many newly pardoned January 6th rioters that will commit a crime because they think they are above the law. I'm going to skip the details here because I got a lot to get to. Here's the point about this. 2 MAGA guys so far. One's sought for some type of sexual assault on a minor. Since he got out of prison, they're looking for him. And this person here that they're talking about, traffic stop, I believe. Guy pulled the gun on the cops. Cops had to cap him. I think he's no longer with us. That's 2 that Donnie let out of jail. 2 patriots, in quotes. 2 hostages, in quotes. 1 sexual assault on a minor. They looking for him. The other one tried to cap a police officer and is no longer with us. Great people you let out the pen there, Donnie. Great work, Rubes. Hopefully you don't come across one of those people or one of your children. Now, you don't think about that, do you? You don't think about that when you're arguing for the guns either. You don't think it can happen to your child. I know. And then when it does, you'll be rethinking your whole existence on this planet and what you stood for. Let me tell you a quick story. Me and my girlfriend used to go, I saved this, I've been wanting to tell this for a long time. Me and my girlfriend go to this pizza place that we love. It's a family-owned, the 2 owners, older Italian man, older Italian woman, straight off the boat. They still speak Italian. They got the hardcore accent. Well, one of them does. So, we go there during COVID. He made his identity Fox News on the TV every day, all day, and sports and other things, but Fox News, that was the shit. Every day, all day. And he would chill in there at night and we'd go pick up our pizza. He'd talk to us for a minute. He's an okay guy. But he made his whole identity on his planet the MAGA thing. And when people would come in with masks on, he'd get upset. And as the COVID thing started to wane and people kind of had the option to wear a mask or not, then he'd get really mad and tell people literally to take the mask off. I'm not even going to let you in my store if you don't take the mask off. So he made his identity anti-COVID MAGA politics. Guess what happened to that man? This is a true motherfucking story. He got COVID and died. They don't put Fox News on the television anymore in that store. His whole family runs that store. What an illustration for rubery. This was a man, again, an Italian straight off the boat. What would the Klan, how would the Klan have looked at him? These MAGA people, these Nazis, how would they have looked at an Italian straight off the boat back in the day? Oh, they would have called him a monkey or something. Yet he was MAGA. Holy fucking shit. What have you rubes done right here, son? I woke up and saw this today. Boy, I just been waiting to talk about. This is a motherfucking dictatorial whopper here. This is a complete fabrication by the president of the United States, unfortunately for us. The United States military just entered the great state of California and under emergency powers turned on the water, that's in all caps, flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people, that's in caps, are over, that's in caps. Enjoy the water, California. Fake environmental, why is that capitalized? He's just an idiot. Again, this is a complete fabrication. Donnie did nothing. And no, the military didn't go in. But the fact that he's saying this using emergency powers, just like South Korean Trump, I'm really worried about this. The reason they're fucking with all these programs for poor people, they want you out on the street protesting. Why? Then they can send the military out, declare martial law. I'm really worried. That's the plan here. The right-wing grift/terror machine has been saying the liberals are going to do this for decades. The Obamas, the Clintons, they're going to, deploy the military and declare martial law. No, that they never came close. They never threatened it. Nothing like that ever remotely happened. This guy fucks around with that idea all the time, to the point this psychotic, syphilitic, dementia-ridden, bloated, diaper-wearing shithead made up an entire post overnight because, God forbid, Gavin Newsom or any officials in California get any credit for making some things happen. First of all, the pumps were down. They were being maintenance because there wasn't enough fucking water to run them. Because California has been in drought the past 30 fucking years. It's that simple. Well, it rained a little bit, so they were able to use the fucking pumps for a little bit. And Donnie he has to get credit for it. He is that demented of a fucking sociopath. But you people know that because you're just like him. One more time. What a whopper, man. These are dangerous whoppers, too, talking about emergency powers and deploying the military. Just getting you used to that idea. And the rubes will just read this and believe it. And then they'll watch Fox. But here's the thing. Even Fox said he was lying. One more time. Let this sink in, like Leon likes to say. Because this is where we're going. He just telegraphed his intentions again. Just like Eric did the other day. And proved every damn thing I've been saying. The United States military just entered the great state of California. That's a complete and utter fucking fabrication by the President of the United States on his own money laundering, whatever, Truth Social account. Turned on the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California. He put a tweet out hours later thanking himself. The water's back on in California. Thank you, President Trump. He wrote that. thanking himself. What a monster you have created. And this monster is going to be knocking on your door. This is Fox News. Trump claims military entered California to release water flow, but state says that did not happen. No, that just didn't happen. Not state says it didn't happen. Yeah, that looks like this. That's your gospel, right? Fox News even saying. Yeah, Donnie just made that up. But let's pretend that he didn't do that, and we'll just move forward and pretend this is politics, and we have a legitimate president, and he's not surrounded by utter sycophants that eventually are going to start rounding people up and locking them up. They already started with the, one group of people, and guess what? In authoritarian groups, other groups always get added to the list. Maybe some group you belong to. You never know. That's the fun thing about instability and chaos and incompetent leadership and grifters in charge. This is what happens, and this is just the beginning. So yeah, even Fox says Donnie's a liar there. The bird flu that's been happening, millions of ducks, chickens have to be euthanized. Again, this is why Donnie shut down all the agencies that warn you and me about outbreaks and different things in animals and in humans, and pulled us out of the WHO. Not because they're nefarious, evil organizations, despite what Alex Jones tells you. The defamer, Alex Jones, simply because he doesn't want stories like this going around and ruining his image, ruining his moment, ruining his presidency, like COVID fucked him all up. That really pissed him off. So what the hell? Just shut down all the agents, or tell all the agencies they can't communicate any alerts with the public right now until Donnie says it's cool. Just like all those federal programs are shut down until Donnie says it's cool. So who knows what pandemics or whatever will be going on that we won't know about, because he doesn't want businesses to look bad. He doesn't want him to look bad. He doesn't want any pandemic or virus, be it in humans or animals, if it gets out of control, and the bird one's already out of control. He doesn't want any of that news coming to you and fucking his groove up. In other words, there's no concern for you, the Rube, or I. It's only concern for him and his grift and his image. Very valuable agencies, those agencies that warn us about viruses and pandemics and all that. Very valuable. Unfortunately, they mess up Donnie's groove, so we'll all have to suffer. Now, the tuberculosis thing, people are trying to make this a thing, but it just doesn't seem that the numbers don't seem bad to me right now. They don't seem to be going up in any significant way, but there are 60, 70 cases here and there in different states. Tuberculosis, very serious. I don't know how big that's going to get, though. It could get bigger, but we won't know. You have to actually search for articles that talk about it, because Donnie won't let the agencies that are in charge of warning us talk about it. Trump posted his lie about turning on the water at 11:12 p.m. last night, and California responded with the facts less than 2 hours later. Can most other Democrats please learn from this? I don't know what people expect out of Democrats at this point. They ran. You didn't vote for them. And the people out there saying, if you didn't vote, you're part of this problem. No, fuck you. The voters did their fucking job in 2020. 20 million voters came out and voted the right way. They had faith in the Department of Justice, whoever they were going to put in charge of it, that he was going to handle this motherfucking problem and throw out the garbage for us. They watched and they got strung along for 4 years and they got lied to. That's not Biden's fault. That's Garland's fault, in my opinion. Biden did what he was supposed to do. Stay the fuck out of it. Be impartial. Be fair. And hey, Donnie slid for 4 years. He tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified documents. If you did that, do you think you wouldn't have served any jail time? Of course you would have. So I don't understand how anyone could say Biden wasn't impartial or fair, because Donnie slid and he got to run again. And look, he's dictator now. He's Caesar now. Just like you rubes wanted. But there's a saying in life, be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. You're going to live that out now. You're going to learn that the hardest way possible. I promise you that. So I don't know what people expect out of Democrats at this point. They tried everything, you know? There were two products before you. Again, the righteous man and the thief. And people got strung along for 4 years. They were waiting for justice, and no justice happened, and they watched all their hopes and dreams get crushed. And a traitor take the office he tried to steal. So I don't blame people for not coming out. They did their fucking job. The government and top law enforcement did not do theirs. They are to blame. No one else. I don't blame one voter for staying home. And here's the thing about Donnie shitbags again. It should have taken about, 10 votes to beat Donnie after his family all voted for him. Some of them might not even have voted for him because they know what he is. They're scared to death of that monster. Every single one of them. So it should have taken about 10 votes, 11 votes to beat Donnie shitbags because no one should have voted for him. That would have made a statement about our population in this country, that 40% that support him. It would have made a statement about you people, that you people don't want to be conned, don't want to be grifted, care about your country and your children's future here. But you didn't go that way, you went the other way. This is just a statement. Feels like a bunch of billionaires are ripping the copper wires out of the walls of this country before it collapses. That's exactly what they're doing. Looting everything to bring it down, to usher in Donnie coin. Who knows? Maybe they'll invite Vlad's people in, China in, to police us once all the riots and protests start. Who knows where this dystopian nightmare you rubes have given birth to is gonna go. So that's a very accurate statement. Here's another one. The United States is in the process of getting parted out and sold, but not like a rusted out jalopy at a scrapyard, more like a supercar that's been stolen and sent to a chop shop while its owner thinks it's being worked at a legitimate garage. Well, there's people lying that it's a legitimate garage because they want their team to win. They know what Donnie is and they know what he represents, and they're just like him, so they put their name on it. I hope you don't continue to put your name on it, because there's going to come a time soon where if you put your name on it, that will be the final opportunity to do that. And there will be no going back, and it will be too late. And I want to say something quickly before I continue. Quickly. I spoke about a man named Brother James Key. I spoke how there's only 2 teachers that I even respect, 2 priests or pastors or teachers that are speaking the right words. One of them still hasn't come out and said this guy's the Antichrist. The entire church should be saying this to every one of their people in the world. They should be shouting it from the mountaintops, but they're all too afraid. Even one of the reverends I respect, I told him today, I said, what are you afraid of, Reverend? You've studied the prophecies. I know you know who he is. Just say it. Because he used the phrase Antichrist at the end of his comment, and I've never seen him do that before. He didn't call the beast the Antichrist. He said a philosophy of mind is Antichrist. That's a common thing church people do. throw that phrase out there like that. But in my case, all the way back in 2015, I've been straight up saying it, that he's it. And hoping I'm dead motherfucking wrong. I'm not wrong, unfortunately for you, and unfortunately for me. I'd love to be wrong. Anyway, I told you 3.5 years. My philosophy is, after careful consideration, is tribulation, 7 weeks of years, or 7 years, whatever the fuck. That's what Brother James Key is basing his philosophy on. I'm going to give you mine quickly first. I think the tribulation started and then the pause button was hit on it. I think we're in the end portion, the second half, based on my interpretations. And I think Leon Scum is the falsus profeta. Look it up if you don't know what that is. That's my interpretation, my assessment as of now. Could I be wrong? Praise Jesus. Yes, I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope we have more time than that. I'm not feeling that at the pace it's going. Okay, that's my philosophy. That's my assessment, what I'm putting out based on my studies, my interpretation. Brother James Key, the only other one that's been saying this since 2015, just like me. That's why I've been keeping tabs on him. More knowledge of scripture than me, a little bit older than me. I look to him as a teacher, and I still don't agree. I look up to him, and I don't look up to fucking nobody. His philosophy right now, his interpretation, his assessment, because I want to be fair to you people, and I want to let you know that there are other interpretations out there. I'm just going with what I feel. I feel this urgency. And after, again, careful consideration, I think the pause button was hit because Joe Biden got elected. Because you needed to see that. God needed to show you that. That way you'd have no excuses. Brother James Key is asking the question, do we have another decade, 10 years? I don't think we got that. This is moving way too fast. 10 years of this kind of chaos every day, everybody would fucking stroke out and have a heart attack. It's too fast. But again, that's my philosophy. His 10 years, he says the beast needs time to build his kingdom. I thought that at first too, and then I saw the pace of the shit that was happening. And I was like, yeah, this is happening way too fast for it to be 10 years. So I really felt like a contradiction with Brother James Key's philosophy. I checked in with him recently. I haven't been watching him for years. Wanted to see where he was at on it. So he says 10 years. He's not sure if Leon is the falsus profeta. He's wondering about it. So his philosophy, he's basing that again on 7 weeks of years, or it's in Daniel, something like that in the Old Testament. I already know this. I'm basing most of my interpretations on Revelation. He's using some Old Testament as well, which is what you're supposed to do, but I just don't feel the 10-year thing. It feels like we don't have that much time. And based on what I'm reading and how fast it's moving. So my philosophy or my interpretation, 3.5 years, something like that, a shorter time. Because the pause button was hit. Because the people made the right choice. They didn't choose the beast. So the beast had to wait another 4 years to really get his shit started. But remember, we had a plague. The whole world was shut down. Someone messaged me one day out of the blue. They're like, is this the biblical plague, Nick? I'm like, I don't know. I would think the biblical plague, end times plague, would be worse. Higher death rate. But who the fuck am I? The entire world was shut down. People lost businesses, their lives, everything. It was like 1918 Spanish flu, but maybe worse. It never happened in my lifetime where all of society, the entire globe, shut the fuck down. No one was allowed to go anywhere. So I think that makes a solid argument, just that event alone, that some of the tribulation events have already happened. Again, the reason I'm telling you this right now is I want you to have other perspectives, because I could be wrong, and I hope I am. So one more time, Brother James Keys thinks 10 years, something around that time, more time for the beast to build up his kingdom. I don't think he's going to need that kind of time. He's also not sure about Leon. I'm certain about Leon. So the reason I'm at where I'm at, I think the pause button was hit. And I think there's a reason it's broken in half oftentimes in scripture. 3.5, 3.5. That's probably why. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I'd rather Brother James be right and we have 10 years or more. So that's another perspective from someone I look up to. That doesn't mean I take everything he says as gospel. I have my own instincts and feelings about this and interpretations. But I'm human and I could be wrong. And I keep hoping I'm wrong, waiting to see that thing that proves me wrong, and I never fucking see it. That's what bothers me. It just keeps escalating. Okay, Acosta is out at CNN. Now, Acosta, what's his name? Jim Acosta? He made a name for himself by really getting to Donnie Shitbags and putting tough, real questions at him. And then he got rewarded for his real journalistic work with a primetime show on CNN. Well, Donnie got the presidency, so now he's out. He's worthless now because Donnie don't like him. So I'm not sure if he's resigning or being fired or moved or whatever, but he basically said on the air today, it is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. Don't give in to the lies. Now, he didn't say Trump specifically when he made those statements. He kind of used them as a metaphor for a different situation and this situation. But this is dangerous. Journalists just, losing their job all of a sudden because this guy's Caesar. Slippery slope, man. But we're already halfway down the slope of losing our country. And then it gets real bad. And here's what Donnie had to say about it, because, the president really needs to weigh in on a CNN journalist losing their job or leaving, right? Real important stuff. It's really going to improve your life, right? Hey, you get to own the libs. Wow, really good news. Jim Acosta, one of the worst and most dishonest reporters in journalistic history, a major sleazebag, has been relegated by CNN fake news to the midnight hour, Death Valley, because of extraordinarily bad ratings and no talent. Word is that he wants to quit, and that would be even better. Jim is a major loser who will fail no matter where he ends up. Good luck, Jim. Well, he seemed to be doing just fine at CNN. He had a top, primetime show until Caesar got coronated. So, Jim had to be a sacrifice for the right-wing owner of the station. One more time, what was that last thing he said? Because this is a 80-year-old president saying this. Jim is a major loser who will fail no matter where he ends up. The only one I see keep failing is Donnie. How many businesses of his went bankrupt? Oh, all of them. That's right. Never mind. Newsmax host taunts people complaining about migrant deportations of Latinos by eating a taco on air. And here's what that looks like. Hilarious, right, guys? Look at him stuffing his bloated face. His bloated, entitled, lying face with tacos to make fun of Spanish people who are getting deported. That's hilarious. What is that saying in Scripture? It's right in Revelation, right around this time we're in right now. All of a sudden, it's just thrown right out there. And it goes like this. He who is for captivity, into captivity he goes. I can't believe this is real. TMZ. Remember how we used to go to TMZ all the time? Leon's daddy. Elon Musk's dad. I'm not proud of my son, and he needs to lose bloody weight. No, he needs to lose weight. And yeah, that's what Leon's dad said. And Leon and his dad do not have a good relationship. And no wonder Leon's so fucked up. His father is doing interviews saying, I'm not proud of my son. Sorry. Oh, God. Yes, no wonder Leon's so fucked up. Why not smoke a cigarette while I'm doing this? Because this is going to be long. Death needs a smoke sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And he's dead, so he doesn't have to worry about dying from a cigarette. So that's cool. And, you know, God don't mind much. So, yes, Leon's father... and the question was posed to Leon's father like this. Are you proud of your son or something because of the whole Tesla thing and everything? And Errol kind of seemed to get a little jealous and basically said something to the effect that, you know, we as a family, as the Musk family, for generations have been, you know, doing amazing things. In other words, what his dad was trying to say is, it ain't just about Leon. We've been doing cool things too. You know, like his parents were digging for relics in Africa for the Nazis and shit. That kind of interesting shit. You know, the bad archaeologists that work with the Nazis and Indiana Jones, that would be Leon's grandfather. Literally. They may have even based the character on him. I don't know. So, for the rubes that don't get what I'm trying to say is, Leon's grandparents would have been the bad guys working with the Nazis. Like you are? Literally. This is a Latin gentleman. Florida man who voted for Trump wants to work something out with Donald Trump after ICE snatched up his wife and deported her back to Venezuela while she was in the process of getting her papers done. Let's work something out. Please, man, let me keep my wife. She deserves to be here. Again, you people, there's a reason I'm showing you this. So many Latin people, I don't get it. This man talked about roundups and has spoken nothing but abject shit on you, your community, for 8 years. And then when it comes time to vote for him or not vote for him, you vote for your own demise. This is what all of us were trying to warn you about. No matter what group you belong to, you heard the man's words. I don't know, you think he's cool or something. You think this is a game. You thought politics was like football or whatever sport you enjoy watching. No, it isn't. It has real life consequences. Now this man's wife is gone and he's begging on TV, on camera. after making it happen. And I'm sorry, I can't empathize or sympathize for this man. Thousands of us were out there warning people. And he saw no wisdom in it. Again, a white man of European descent was talking shit on Latin people for 8 years. This man had a chance to vote for the other person who wasn't talking shit on Latin people about rounding them up. And he voted for his own demise and his own wife's demise. That does not make logical sense to me. So not only did he lose his wife, he's going to lose his country too that he moved to. And let me show you the picture. That's the man in the bottom corner there. Got a very serious look on his face, huh? If only he would have taken it seriously when it mattered. And his wife be sleeping next to him right now. This is why we all tried to warn you people. I know you thought we were all tricksters and liars, like the con man you voted for, but we're not. We cared about our country. We cared about you. We cared about us. We cared about all of our futures. Be ye rube or not. But you didn't. And now we at where we at. And you're going to watch a dictatorship in a country where there's never been one before. And you're going to have to live through it. American Psycho Part 2. I just thought this was interesting. It's a paper from Germany, I believe. Ain't that the truth? Here's another meme I thought was interesting. That's what's happening to your country literally in 2025. Enjoy it. You made it happen. Trump announces the U.S. will be placing tariffs on all semiconductors and pharmaceuticals imported from Taiwan in the very near future. Yes, I watched this piece of video, and he mentions Taiwan over and over again, but he never mentions China and their semiconductors and the problems we have with them. It's only Taiwan he mentions. I wonder why. I think you know why. This is Anonymous making a comment. Trump, president for 1 week, does more damage to the economy, national security, and international goodwill than all the other presidents combined. Amazing work, MAGA. Amazing indeed. Has it not been chaotic and ridiculous in the first 2 weeks? Oh my God. At this pace, in a year, we won't recognize this country anymore. It'll be something completely different. Thanks to you rubes. And it won't be fun for you either. Believe me. And a simple, if you simply took history seriously and the lessons you may have learned about fascism, but you didn't. You thought you knew better. I don't know. Rubery does not seem to be wisdom to me, because rubery leads you down a path where you endorse, vote for, talk up an adjudicated sexual assaulter, adjudicated fraud, convicted felon, adjudicated defamer, man who tried to overthrow his country's government so he could be a dictator, literally the antithesis of what our Constitution states we should be. You know, that document you pretend to care about? That's where your path has led you. And despite all your concern for sex trafficking and all your sex trafficking talk, that was all Putin designed through Assange, Cernovich, Jones, etc. Despite all that, even though Donnie has about 97 pictures of him and Epstein and Ghislaine and just all kinds of things, video, phone numbers in Epstein's contact book, none of that fazed you. And you still put your name on it. That's where your path has led you, son. Our path has not led us there. I suggest you join us, or it will cost you everything. It's already cost you your country. Oh, Levitt, the new liar, wearing a cross. Of course she is. The new spokesman for Donnie, and they always last long, right? Remember Spicy? Sean Spicy Spicer? I love Spicy. He came in with attitude. He would just come in the room like, I hate all you motherfuckers. I gotta stand here and lie, make a fool of myself, lose another vertebrae, every word I utter. You know, he got mad at everybody else because of his station in life, being Donnie's court jester for the press. Well, that's what this woman is, and she's already having problems, boy. So the federal pause on all the grants, loans, programs you people need. I'm not on any of them. So I guess I shouldn't care, right? That's how you rubes operate, right? This is a temporary pause and a freeze to ensure that all of the money going out from Washington, D.C. is in line with the president's agenda. Right. Now they just want to see how much they can pocket. Because we being looted. That's what's happening. So the temporary pause affects all kind of programs. And we'll get to that. And here's Ron Wyden. He's a senator. My staff has confirmed reports that Medicaid portals are down in all 50 states. That was one of the earliest reporting on this issue. Medicaid portals were indeed down. This is a blatant attempt to rip away health insurance from millions of Americans overnight and will get people killed. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. And again, we all tried to warn you. I'm sure a lot of you rubes in the red states that voted for this are on Medicaid, I guarantee it. Kind of scary, isn't it? The football game has real-world consequences. You didn't think it did, I know. J.D. Vance made an entire video complaining that a dozen eggs were $3.50 under Biden. Under Trump, a dozen eggs are now upwards of $10 to $15 in many places. Yes, I've seen pictures of cartons of eggs, 12 eggs that cost $9.99, $10.99 in some areas. Didn't hit down here as hard. So much for those egg prices that you people pretended to care about, right? Because I don't remember in my lifetime seeing $10 dozen eggs. But hey, you guys made it happen. But at least you get to own libs, right? We're going to get back to the pause on federal aid stuff. Don't worry. This is a Canadian I've been following for a little bit. Because his country is under the same attack ours was. Here, the coup is complete. Vlad has won. China has won. But in Canada, they still have a chance. So this Canadian says, who's got a following, by the way, just canceled a trip to the U.S. in the fall. 3 Canadians I know recently sold their winter homes for the same reasons. Vacation in Canada, support and explore this beautiful country. Visit provinces and places you have never been before. What is happening before our eyes? We are losing our allies. Our allies are being threatened. The United States is threatening to take territory from Canada, Greenland, all the way down to Panama. And then coincidentally, that's the exact map from the Psycho novel and the Psycho Technit party, whatever, that Elon's grandfather and father, the map goes from Greenland to the very top of South America where Panama is. That's Donnie's empire that he's trying to make happen. Remember, he even wanted Greenland back in the first term. This is a plan they've had a long time. This Nazi plan, where they take Greenland and the Panama Canal and Canada. It's a real plan they have. You saw the map. Donnie wanted those specific territories to fill in that map. Did you notice that? Greenland, Canada, all the way down to Panama. That's what Donnie wants. And it matches exactly that map I showed you. We're losing tourists. All these people we're threatening. Tourists from Europe, tourists from Canada. That's going to hurt. They're going to start boycotting businesses. I'm starting to see that. Foreign nations boycotting our businesses. So it's eventually going to get to the point where we have no allies except for Russia and China, and they ain't allies. They want to see us go down, and so does Donnie. We're going to have no trading partners. They're all going to tell us to go fuck ourselves, except for Russia and China. No one's going to want to visit from outside the country. The Mexicans that do most of the hard work in this country that no one else wants to do, they're all going to be running scared and be rounded up. Some U.S. citizens as well will be rounded up. That's going to leave us in a very vulnerable position. And once we're looted, ripe for attack. Trump puts alleged child sex predator back on the streets. I'm not going to read the guy's name. It's just so irrelevant. Just another MAGA automaton scumbag that Donnie let out of jail. And this was one of the ones I spoke of earlier. That is being sought for sexual assault on a child. That's the point being made here. And yes, Trump put that person that tried to overthrow your government and make Donnie a dictator, who's also wanted for sexual assault on a child. Donnie put that person back on the street. That's simple. Alina Habba to Chuck Schumer, because Chuck made a statement on the Senate floor about how crazy all this stuff is. And, you know, senators and pundits and all different people are trying to make the point about what the law says and what the Constitution says and what this says. Well, here's what Alina says about that. Remember Alina? She's the one that said, I'd rather be pretty than smart. And that ended up costing Donnie about, I don't know, $600 million in a suit that she was representing him in. That's what pretty instead of smart gets you. Luckily for Donnie, he's now Caesar, so he gonna make all that go away. He gonna make all those people go away too that he owes money to, that won their court cases. So this is what Miss Habba, who thinks she's all that in a bag of chips, and she is not, son. She is not. My girl got a better body than her, by far. Way more body too. And that's, you know, never mind. Let me not go down that vein any further. Here's what Alina says. What your opinion on what the law is doesn't really matter. It's what the White House counsel says and what our Attorney General of the U.S. says. What does Miss Habba, prettier than smart, according to her, mean by that? We are the law now. Exactly what I've been trying to tell you since before the election and for 8 years. But now they're really at the point. They don't give a fuck about the law, the Constitution, and they're going to get real tired of pulling back on these plans. And they're just going to do it. Wait and see. Guarantee it. It's coming. She just said it. We are the law. That's basically what she said. We don't care what your opinion is, Mr. Schumer, or anyone's opinion. We are the law. When asked if she would guarantee that no one on Medicaid would be cut off because of the Trump freeze on federal aid, the White House press secretary said she would have to check on that issue. I'm going through the steps with you. This all played out. So the White House press secretary lies to them and says, I have to check on it. She knew damn well who was responsible. And here's Levitt again. Donnie's female Barbie Goebbels with a cross. Here's what she looks like. You're going to see a lot of her lying her ass off until Donnie gets tired of her and hires the next one. Once her credibility is all exhausted, like Sarah Huckabee's was, like Spicy's was, all of them. Once her credibility is, stretched to the absolute limit, which it already has been in my opinion, she's a very loyal servant. The cross just really adds to the whole thing. So what was the question? They asked her about the Wooder and Trump's military claims of going into California. Of course, she avoided or dodged the military part, and she just said this. The Wooder has been turned back on in California, and this comes just days after President Trump visited. So since Donnie was in the vicinity of California within a couple days of the Wooder getting turned back on, Donnie gets the credit, I guess, right, Rubes? No, Donnie had absolutely jack shit to do with it, despite his lie of sending the military in and making it happen, using emergency powers. He did not do that. And this woman can't even really lie about it. She's got to twist it and just say, well, the Wooder's back on. And Trump visited the other day. That's what she just said. Worthless. And that proves again what I'm saying. Donnie had absolutely nothing to do with it. That's why she didn't say Donnie had something to do with it. She just said it's back on and Trump visited the other day. That's it. She didn't say Donnie had shit to do with it. And she totally avoided that. Military got sent to California. I listened to what she said. Oh, one of the things she did say, when they brought up the price of eggs, she flipped out. And she said something like, you guys are complaining about the price of eggs. You're such hypocrites. You guys are the hypocrites. Because eggs went up 65% under Biden. And Biden was probably sleeping while that was going on. And I was like, oh, no, she didn't. She said Biden was asleep. Press secretary for Donnie shitbag. Biden left peacefully and let Donnie have his Caesar ship. Donnie wasn't capable of doing that for Biden. And this bitch who's working for the Devo, literally, whilst wearing a cross, which is an image, by the way, no one should be wearing, but whatever. You ain't going to go to hell for it, don't worry. She talking shit on Joe sleeping? Again, there's decorum for press secretaries. You're really not supposed to make cracks like that. So the fact that she's making cracks like that and blaming the current cost of eggs on Joe Biden and lying and saying eggs went up 65% under his presidency, which they didn't. How bloody dare she? She is naught but a sad-ass, almost Barbie Goebbels. That's all she is. Wearing a cross, lying about her Christian faith, just like the Nazis did. She is naught but that. The White House confirms Medicaid websites are down throughout the country. Let's continue through that story. Here's a saying and a statement. 2 years from now, I want you to remember that I said this. There will not be free or fair elections again in America. Well, I said this, You know, once I knew he won, I said there's not going to be elections anymore. Why would there be? Donnie can't run again. And he tried to overthrow the government. You think he's just going to leave this time? I don't want to hear anyone say that to me. Ever. He proved he ain't just going to leave last time. Remember all the people, we don't think Donnie's going to leave. They called all those people crazy, dramatic, stupid. Donnie didn't leave, did he? So, but Rubes want us to believe he's going to leave this time. We promise. There will not be free or fair elections again in America. We elected a dictator. No, we didn't. Let me get to that. Let me just read this. We elected a dictator backed by the most corrupt political party in history, and we're no longer a democracy. Things won't get better, only steadily worse. Yes. And I've been saying that for 8 years. Don't do this. This guy's just realizing it now, huh? When it's too late. Fun historical fact. Once you peacefully install a fascist, you cannot peacefully remove them. Yes, Rubes. You're going to learn that the hardest of hard ways. I want to go back to this point. We elected a dictator. No, we did not. There are many of us that never supported this orange, bloated, diaper-wearing con man, ever. There are many of you that voted for him once and then he turned away. Voted for him twice and he turned away. I commend you for that. That's not easy to do, to realize you've done something wrong and turn the other way. Most adults aren't capable of that because they are really children in adult bodies. That's what I've noticed about humanity. So we didn't do jack shit. The Rubes and the oligarchy chose this, son. Don't ever lump us in. Don't ever lump me in. And don't ever say to me anyway, because I don't agree with this philosophy, the people that stayed home because they watched a con man slide on case after case after case and run for president and get the office they voted him the fuck out of back. I don't blame them for not coming out. You didn't give them any reason to, son. And I'm talking to the Department of Justice. They did their job in 2020. They gave you the overwhelming mandate. You did nothing with it. You lied to us, played games. I'm talking to Garland. Hey, Garland, I hope they don't come after you. You ever think of that? Nah, you're untouchable, right? Not for the Nazis, you're not. No one is. Here's a person making a comment on the Medicaid portals. The portals didn't glitch. They were shut down as a result of the memo from the OMB. That's the Office of Management and Budget, I believe. Very important office, by the way. The reason they were coming back on is because of the uproar. To be clear, that's what happened. When I was in the White House, we never could have gotten away with this. This is obviously someone who used to work in the White House. Anyway, yeah, the reporters would have been on you. This is a rare moment where they back down for now. But we know what the plan is. They just showed us again. We heard what Eric Trump said the other day. We see what's going on before our eyes. They intentionally shut down Medicaid. Payments were not able to be made. All kinds of things. I know a lot of rubes out there need that program. So as we're going through the story, we're finding out that they intentionally shut down those portals and others. Wow. And they lied about it beforehand. That certain things weren't going to be touched. They got touched. This person has hardly any teeth. Obviously does not have a lot of money. She has children. She says she can't work, which I don't believe. She looks like she's perfectly able to move around and do all kinds of stuff. But she's on assistance. She's on SNAP. And she's probably on all kind of welfare. And this is her today. doing her best dramatic act. Because she's obviously a girl that's been on social media. I can tell by her act and the way she kept looking at the camera. While she was crying and begging us out here, letting us, oh my God, please tell me this is a lie, that I won't lose Snap. My kids will starve. I can't work. There's some of us that can't work. She's flipping out. She fell on the ground. She was crying. She's flipping the fuck out. Again, Rubes. We all tried to warn you. You knew better. Do you know better now? Wait till a year from now. Someone with hardly any teeth, that makes hardly any money, that dares ever think a New York real estate con man who used to shit on a gold toilet before he started wearing diapers is their savior or the person that they should be identifying with, voting for, supporting. You're just lost. You live in two different worlds. And that orange thing that lives in another world, he despises you. He just showed you that. And that's why this girl was crying about her SNAP benefits. I don't know if she actually lost them or not, but that's the thing. You guys heard them say all these things. You heard Leon and him saying, we're going to go in there, we're going to cut everything. You didn't think that would affect any of your welfare programs? Son, we tried to warn you. Yes, if they cut SNAP, unemployment, all these programs, yes, some kids might die, starve, adults might die, starve. But again, you Rubes thought it was a football game. Okay, this is another statement. If you're starting to suspect that he's operating as a totalitarian, lawless dictator without any guardrails, it's because he is, and there aren't. Exactly. The portals didn't glitch or experience random outages. They were shut down as a result of the memo from Trump's OMB. The reason they came back up is the uproar. Again, they're not going to care about uproar much longer. And they only turn back on the Medicaid portals in most places. But I'll get to that. This is disgusting. Pete Hegseth, the white supremacist, drunk, rapey asshole, totally unqualified to be the head of our fucking military, is on a little revenge mission for Donnie, because we also warned you that this would be a revenge tour, but you thought the only revenge that would take place would be against people you don't like. Well, death is here to tell you that's not how it's going to go. There's two things that are going to play out during this time. It's a lesson I learned a long time ago in my studies. I forget where I learned it or how I learned it, but I learned it. There's two things that are going to take place. The wrath of Satan, the wrath of the beast, and the wrath of God. Both play out at the same time. Guess which one's worse? For you. Not for me. I'll be facing the wrath of Satan. But I will be risen. You won't. So I'm willing to go through that. Are you, son? I don't think you is. both play out simultaneously. Uh-oh. Again, you thought it was only going one way, right? It's going to seem that way at first. But don't worry. It changes. So Hegseth is on a mission, revenge mission to revoke General Miley's security clearance and security detail, and that's not enough revenge for Donnie. And Mr. Hegseth, whose own mother and sister-in-law despise him. A review will determine if Miley should be demoted in retirement for undermining Trump. Miley's army portrait will also be removed tonight. Shouldn't it be undermining the Constitution and not undermining the dictator? That's the way it should be. But when rubery reigns and thuggery reigns, we get this. A man who spent his whole life in the military worked his way up to general whatever he is, only for a rapey, alcoholic, douchebag, unqualified, to shine this man's shoes. Gonna take some of his pension away, rank away, security detail, hoping one of the rubes does something, right, Pete? Oh, I forgot, white supremacist. Nazi? On top of it, that's who's doing this to this man. Exactly what Adolf Hitler would do. For undermining the dictator, you weren't loyal to a man who tried to overthrow the government. He's going to talk about loyalty and go on a revenge tour to those who weren't loyal to him when he's loyal to no one, and would throw any one of you under the bus if it made him $1. And that's not even a fucking exaggeration. In fact, he'd do it for free. That's the one thing he does do for free. Throw people under the motherfucking bus. Disgusting that this man went through his whole career and now on the tail end, after it's over, he has to deal with this fucking idiot who isn't fit to shine his fucking shoes. It's all fun and games, right, Rubes? This is interesting. Boeing is working with Elon Musk to deliver Air Force One replacements sooner. Anonymous says, we support this. I support it too. I think it's a great idea. But there's something else. Leon wanted that $500 million contract that Altman got. I guess Donnie threw him a bone with this contract. And he'll grift, a few $100 million from this contract for doing nothing. Boeing will do all the work, of course. Musk will just be the middleman and take some of the profit. That's all. That's all that'll happen. Anonymous, don't forget who wore the little red hats because they are going to try to hide it when shit collapses. People have been saying this for years. When this all hits the fan, this whole dictator thing plays out, all the MAGA people will deny that they were MAGA people, just like all the Nazis in Germany deny they supported Hitler after Hitler. The same thing will happen here if we survive it. Which I'm not certain we will. Also, I've been making this point because I know it's going to happen. I see it happening slowly. When people get scared, they start turning to the people that, never supported this. That's what's going to happen. As they realize more and more that these people don't care about them, our country's being looted, they gave it away, and they're idiots. They're going to turn to you and I, the ones that never supported it, or the ones that turned away from it. And they're going to want to cry on your shoulder. That's what's going to happen. You decide whether you let them do that or not. I have no interest in it. If you saw what we all saw and you voted for this thing 3 times, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know. The moron MAGAs are now cheering on H.R. 25, an amendment to abolish income tax. But if you read the fine print, bill imposes a national sales tax on the use or consumption in the United States. Anyway, I'm not going to read all this. Basically comes down to is no more income tax. This is what Donnie wants to do. No more income tax because rich people hate paying fucking taxes. And it'll be a consumption tax. Every time we go and buy something, you'll pay your state sales tax if you have it in your state. And then you'll pay a federal sales tax of about 23%. So add 23%, add your state sales tax, so whenever you buy anything, a car, whatever, the price is going way up. Now, rich people don't have to worry about that. They have plenty of money, but you don't. That's the problem. You do have to worry about the price of goods going up. I don't know if that plan is sound. I don't think it is. That's an awful 23%, a federal tax of that magnitude would be quite ugly, and who would be keeping all that money? Just like Vlad does. That's why Vlad's country is a third world shithole. And his army is a joke, and his equipment is a joke. That's where we going. And Donnie's going to view that federal sales tax money as his money. This is a man, J.B. Pritzker. Is he governor of Illinois? Yes, governor of Illinois. Donald Trump's administration is lying to you. Governor J.B. Pritzker slammed the White House for saying the freeze wouldn't affect Head Start and Medicaid. Now, I was wondering why Mr. Pritzker is out there so boldly stating what he's stating, the truth. Why he's not afraid. He's worth $3.7 billion. That's why he's not afraid. But he should be. Because he's on the list now. Donnie's list, revenge list. Because he put the truth straight out. This is how we do it. Call out Trump's lies to the camera, bold, blah, blah, blah. So, these governors were lied to across the country. They were told Medicaid wasn't going to be touched. And then Medicaid was touched. In fact, the portals all went down. Payments weren't going out. All kinds of bad shit happened. And all kinds of other programs for the poor as well were affected. All overnight, all at the stroke of a pen. So basically what he said was, after calling the White House and saying, what the fuck is going on, and telling them, we know you shut down the portals, don't lie about it, it's not a coincidence, and your administration has not earned the benefit of the doubt. The man said this on camera. Said finally they turned it on an hour ago. He said, but the other programs are just up in the air. The low-income housing electricity program, assistance program, unemployment, the federal contribution to unemployment for his state, and several other programs are just up in the air. But Medicaid's back on. So what Mr. Pritzker was saying basically is thousands of people are going to starve, possibly die, really suffer for these other programs that still aren't going on. All the money's frozen. You know, so all Donnie and his buddies can steal it all. That's where this is going. Notice it's targeted right at the poor, too. Ain't stealing from the rich. Notice that? And to end it all, I love this. I saw this earlier today, and it just kind of sums it all up, doesn't it? He did try and warn us on the way out, didn't he? That's crazy Joe Biden right there. And I say that as a term of endearment, not an insult. Because he is crazy in a way. In this way, when the press would ask him a stupid question, he would just he'd be like, come on, man. I talk just like him sometimes. It's just a habit. I don't know. It's not because of him. Maybe it's because he's from the area close to where I'm from, the Delaware Valley, tri-state area. I don't know. But they tried to make Joe look stupid so many times, and he made them look stupid. And he tried to warn you on the way out. But you saw no wisdom in the warning. God gave us a pause for 4 years to show us what a man who cares, what a righteous man would do in the stead of the con man, of the beast. And you saw no wisdom in it. This man made the same sacrifice your father made. Allowed his son to go through abject persecution by demons for you, for this country, until he realized at the very end, they're never going to stop going after him. They're never going to stop going after me. I've made my point here. I tried as hard as I could. They saw no wisdom in it. And then even on his way out, he didn't have to say this, and he risked his life saying it. Because the last guy that said something like this ended up dead. He said, I don't know, guys. I see an oligarchy forming here. Better be careful. He didn't have to say that. And I'm sure the oligarchy thought for a minute, are we going to let that slide? So far they have. Again, I have to make the point because no one else is making it. And I mean no one else. You were shown for 4 years the beast and the thief. Then you were shown the righteous man who made the same sacrifice as your father did. Not to the ultimate degree. But you get the point. I sure got the fucking point. I noticed I said, this man's letting his son, who he loves, go through this persecution, even though he has the power of God on earth. How many of you could do that? I don't know if I could do that. Especially when it's Donnie's shitbags and people like that coming after my son. When Donnie's son is an abject, raging cokehead to the point he's doing gum hits when he's standing on stages. No problem with that, right, Rubes? Okay for Donnie Jr. to do drugs and play with guns and shit. And if you think Donnie Jr. ain't sleeping with hookers, oh my God, I got a bridge to sell you. And some beachfront property in Kansas for the low price of $3 million a square foot. Great land. In other words, both of the sons are out of control drug addicts at one point. Don Jr. still is. I don't know about Hunter. Because Hunter has no effect on our government. He had no government position. Don Jr. was like an advisor or something. You got Eric and Don Jr. making threats to the whole world that we're going to do whatever we want to you. They ain't even in charge. They making threats for their daddy. Because that's what kind of bitches they is. You were shown the righteous man and thief. You chose the thief. You're still choosing the thief. I suggest you turn. Because the thief is going to offer you something in the future. And you're going to have to pledge your loyalty to participate in society. And you're going to have to betray your God for that. At that moment when you do that, you will now be irredeemable. There is two ways you are irredeemable. When you put forth a true interpretation of Scripture, not the Catholic Church's version. Two ways you are irredeemable. Unforgivable. Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit without repenting. I personally view it as blasphemy of any one part of the Trinity: Christ, Father, Holy Spirit. I look at it that way. Not everyone does. The book says blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Saying the Holy Spirit is of Satan and never repenting of that, you are done. Taking the mark, you are done. Those are the two ways. Not suicide, not any of that bullshit you hear in a Catholic Church. Suicide is not the unpardonable sin. There's only one unpardonable sin, and then there's the physical act of taking and worshiping the beast, his image, and taking the mark. Those two ways you become irredeemable. Unfixable, you cannot go back. You will face me, the second death. And that's forever, son. And if the Sieg Heils and the lies about sending the military into California haven't woken you up yet, I don't know what will, son. All I know is the man gonna come around. And I hope, for your sake, you're not found wanting when he does. And you don't have that mark on your hand, on your head, wherever it's going to go. The wrath that will be meted out for that upon you is indescribable. So I hope many of you, whether I know you or not, have your Maga Revelation where you realize I'm walking the wrong path. I need to turn around. Because I don't want to be found wanting when the man comes around, and he's coming around. Trust me. And it's not going to take 1,000 years. Be much sooner than that. Turn now. Not for my sake, not for anyone's sake, but your own. So I hope many of you experience your Maga Revelation before it's too late, before you've taken that gift that they want to give you. See the wisdom. Understand that you could be wrong in your assessments. It's possible. See the wisdom, hear the wisdom, apply the wisdom, turn around. Until the next episode of the Apocalypse, have a wonderful evening.